buddy Harley. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Not bad.
Good.
So Harley plays on Neighbours. He plays as Joshua Willis.
Willis. That's fine.
Joshua Willis. The first question is, what do you love about acting?
I love that it gives you the freedom to feel, to experience your emotions in a safe environment, because out in the big bad world, a lot of the time, society will tell you that being emotional, or especially for a guy, emotions or crying is weak, which it's not. It's not weak at all. And if you do feel like that, regardless out in the open, when you're in an environment like an acting studio or shooting a scene, you have freedom to feel, and it's just a really nice release.
So yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting.
Uh-huh.
And the next question is, what have you learnt from acting school?
That there is a whole lot more to every person than they would realise in the beginning. And the reasons why we do things, the reasons why we are the way we are, the way we react to certain situations. There's a much deeper level for the reason why we behave in a certain way.
And what have you learnt from being on the set?
There's lots and lots and lots, particularly Neighbours. It's a really nice environment to have learned in. Not so much the acting craft itself that I've learnt in there, it's more the technical side. So if I was to come into you, and this is our shot, I'd have to sit down and make sure that I was in line with the camera, so your head isn't blocking me out, and I'm also not blocking you out, and that we've got appropriate light, so that we're not shading each other, which I can't even do here because the lighting's so good. So yeah, a lot of technical things that I've learnt on set. Yeah.
Now, who would you most like to work with and why?
I would like to work with the most, probably Daniel Day-Lewis, and Benedict Cumberbatch, Leonardo DiCaprio. And the reason behind that is that when I watch them, I have a real resonance with the way that they act, and I can see that they're speaking truth, and so I really admire that. And when someone can do that and not just be telling the truth, but also be so skillful at acting with their voice, their actions, everything is just perfect to a T. I would really like to learn from someone like that.
What type of advice would you give to the kids that audition for Neighbours?
For Neighbours, or auditioning just in general?
I'd say maybe a bit of both.
A bit of both, yeah. So just in general. Oh, okay. So auditioning for Neighbours and auditioning for anything else isn't really any different. So when I first started, I should say, I would be going for 30 auditions and getting one job. So you've got to have a thick skin, and you've got to be persistent, and just know that just because you don't get the one job that you go for doesn't mean that you're not a good actor, or that you should give up, because there's a number of reasons to why you might not get a role. It could be your eye colour. They might want a brown-eyed guy, when I can't really help them in that way, can I? You're too short, too tall, anything. So as long as you just keep persisting, it'll pay off. And make sure that you do study. There's also a craft to auditioning, so you've got to learn that craft too. Make sure you get that down to a T, and then go from there. Yeah, but always persist. Never give up.
Well, that's very good advice. How does a director and an actor work together to make a great performance?
Well, you have to have your vision of what the performance is in sync with each other. So the actor's got to be, it's all right. The actor's got to be open to compromise and be flexible in their performance. So if they've prepared something in a certain way, it can be fine, it can be great, but the director said, no, it needs to be a little bit more this way, because they might have a clearer vision of the whole picture. Director has to be a good communicator, and the actor has to be open enough to be communicated with. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so both have to work together to create the same ultimate goal.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
So, what would be your best tip for young actors starting out?
Make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. You don't want to jump into acting because it's a glamorous lifestyle or for money, because it's not, as I said before, you know, you audition 30 times, 30, 40 times to one success. You know, 30, 40 fails to one success. So it can, if you're not in it for the right reasons, you're not passionate about acting, it can really have an effect on your self-esteem. Even if you do have a passion for acting, it can have an effect on your self-esteem. So do it for the right reasons. Make sure that it's a passion of yours. You should always do what you love anyway, because you become a master of anything and the money will follow. So don't worry about money. And the second thing is, make sure you study. Make sure you study. You could have all the natural talent in the world, but you come up against someone who isn't as naturally talented as you, but has worked their butt off at acting school, and you're going to lose out to them. You're going to make sure that you're always bettering yourself. Yeah.
And what are your expectations for the future?
My expectations for the future. Oh, this is probably another tip. I don't know whether it's a tip, but this is just the way I work, and it leaves me with a very low level of anxiety. Is just to take every. You know, you may want to work with Daniel Day-Lewis or Benedict Cumberbatch, but as long as you've got that in the back of your mind, you just keep persisting each day and taking day by day, moment by moment, which is essential for actors anyway. You'll inevitably get to your goal anyway. Don't preempt the future too much.
Is your job always glamorous? Because you're on Neighbours, it's a pretty good show.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's not always glamorous. I can't really say what glamorous is. I suppose an awards night is glamorous, but really you're going there to work, and especially if you're going there and you're giving all of your emotional self in a scene, nothing glamorous about that. You know, you walk out of there and you're wrecked and you look like crap, can I say that? You know, so no, the answer is no, it's definitely not glamorous all the time, but it's good fun, you know, walking away. I enjoy walking away and feeling like crap because that's what I enjoy doing, you know? Yeah, no, not always.
And the last question is, what has been your favourite acting moment so far?
Favourite acting moment so far? Well, actually, probably an audition I did. I was given an older version of a script. I went in there, prepared it, and it was a scene that sort of started nowhere and ended nowhere, and I just went, oh, okay, well, I'll just do what they have given me, and I couldn't really do much to it. So I went in there and performed it, and they said, oh, you haven't got the right script, and I went, okay, well, you know, what do you want to do? So they said, well, can you stick around and we'll give you the new script, we'll give you 15 minutes to go and prepare it, and then come back and do it. And they said, oh, the other thing is too, it's a little bit emotionally demanding. He's got to burst into tears at the end of it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, let's go do it. So I went and prepared it, and I was looking at this. Now my character, the reason he was crying was because a marketing company didn't want to take on his idea for a bum head towel. There's half a towel said head, the other half said bum, so that you knew which part to dry yourself with. Now, like, I don't know whether you would care so much about that, but I didn't care at all about a bum head towel. So to be so emotional about something like that, it didn't make sense. So I had to use, and in acting school, you learn all these methods and all these little tools. You have a little toolkit, and I found out that because I had the toolkit, I looked at the script and went, oh, I can use this tool for this. So I decided to substitute that whole scene for another reality. What I did was I wrote it substituted so that I was, instead of walking into an office for the bumhead towel, I was walking into a doctor's office where my younger brother, I put it in my script that my younger brother had leukemia. I just had to go full on into it. Leukemia, I was going in really hopeful that everything was going well, and then the doctor tells me, you're gonna have to go say goodbye. And you could imagine, because you got a little brother, how that would feel.
Yeah, that would.
And so when he was saying these lines to me, I was listening to him, but I was also having the undertone of, you have to go say goodbye to your little brother because he's not going to live. And so that went, and it worked. And so that was like good moment. Okay, awesome. I wasn't feeling good straight away. I went in my car and cried my eyes out, but I realised how that method worked, and so that's my favourite acting moment so far.
Well, I'd imagine that would be pretty sad.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Another tip is when you delve into your emotions in that way, the best thing about acting school is they teach you a method to come out of that emotion, and so you're not holding on to it and just holding it there and letting it bring you down constantly. You just go and just release it, let go. So always go to acting school.
So, what's the normal week on Neighbours?
What does a normal week consist of? What do I go through in a normal week?
Yeah.
So we have rehearsals. Now at Neighbours, we shoot 6 episodes of Neighbours a week. So we actually don't have time to do any performance rehearsals. So it's all technical, making sure we're in the right position for all the cameras. And we only have those for our studio scenes. Now when we get to location, which is outside the studio, we do the outdoor stuff. We don't have any rehearsals, so we just have to learn our stuff and get out there. Now the difference between studio and location is that location we have about an hour, like just over an hour to complete a whole scene. In studio we have about 35 minutes around about. So in studio we're just bang, 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 getting it out, churning it out. Now, location, I haven't got any experience in film, but location apparently is a lot more like film. So, you could, on a film you could shoot 3 minutes of footage in a day, where we shoot, I don't know, what would we shoot if we do, how many scenes would we do during the day? I think it's like 15 to 20 in studio, and they could go for, a minute and a half each. So we're shooting that much in a day. So 15 to 20 times a minute and a half to 2 minutes, it's a whole lot more footage than 3 minutes. At work we have drama sessions, which is really, really helpful. So we have 2 drama coaches, and so pretty much we roll around from studio to location to rehearsals just on a Monday, and that's pretty much how it all works there.
Do you shoot in different places or in the same place?
Yeah, so we at Neighbours we shoot. We've got a whole, I don't know how many acres it is, but a massive lot that we've got a studio and all our outdoor sets in the same lot. I know they move around a fair bit. They could be travelling 45 minutes to get to one location, which we used to do a while ago apparently, but not anymore.
Well, that was great. That was a great interview, and thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, buddy. You're a very good interviewer.
Thank you.